But at least I know what happened to my parents.
Knowing's one thing. Feeling okay about it's another.
Yes, that part could take a while.
As long as it doesn't turn into a ghost story. I'm here if you need to talk.
We're talking right now.
It won't be easy, but you have to let yourself feel it. All of it. Even the parts that hurt. So those green people in the...
Envoy? Is it really you? Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Nakutadek?
The origin of the Dreamscourge? It was the act of a god this whole time?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Yes, we have become more.
Sapadal was responsible for the Dreamscourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
But the plague isn't over. Dreamthrall still litter Shatterscarp.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dreamscourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dreamscourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but.
What of this god, then?
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Nakutadek was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
We saw similar destruction at Nakukubel. If these roots and the Dreamscourge are the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
For now. Who's to say they don't get their feathers in a ruff again and wipe us all out with a tsunami?
It was Aedyr's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear from this god once we expel you from our lands.
Sapadal's power ravaged my people. I don't know that I can ever trust it.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now.
But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Lodwyn has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking, just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Lodwyn's plowed through the militia like a knife through warm butter.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
Regrettably, she's not in the business of making exceptions for people she deems oathbreaker. So long as her passion for Wodka lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Lodwyn who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her steel garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden. Well, it's been a point of debate. We can't agree on how to stand against the steel garrote, nor who should lead the effort.
Nobody wants to risk their people at the front.
So you let the Paradis militia go it alone?
Even if our meager forces should make it inside.
The siege won't end until Lodwyn does. And none of you know how to kill her.
Precisely.
We've had no news from inside for several days. From what we can observe, southern Paradis is in pieces, and the remaining militia batters at the gates to no avail.
Is there nothing our people can do?
Given the state of our supply routes after the Dreamscourge, and the Steel Garrote's destruction, we expect the people trapped inside will run short of fresh food and clean water in a matter of days.
We brought as many Hail and Able from Thirdborn as would come. But after the Dreamscourge and our losses from Nakukubel, we could spare so few. I worry it won't be enough.
Likewise, my wardens are still reeling from effects of the eruption. Most of my men remain at the keep. I can't risk them against the Steel Garrote for the sake of Paradis, not when we are so few.
The lawful settlement of a new Aedyrian colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Woedican state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement. Somewhere inside that hollow head of hers, I believe she always hoped she'd turn you to her side. Remember, she has an obligation to Woedica, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garrote nor the queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Lodwyn and the Tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Lodwyn's the muscle. I'm merely the personality. What was I supposed to do? Frown her into submission?
What good are you as a diplomat if you can't even keep your own beast under control?
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Aedyr that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true god. That's Lodwyn's vision for the Living Lands.
The Inquisitor answers only to Woedica. In attacking Paradis, she has dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires.
I can't wait to see how you weasel out of this one.
I know it will. We are leading by example, returning order and dignity to Paradis in the wake of the Clavager's death. We will do the same to the frontier, given the chance.
Where was order and dignity when you burned Fior Messivernal?
My administration had nothing to do with that, as I know you know. Aedyrian rule and rule by the Steel Garrote would be markedly different beasts.
Spoken like a fucking diplomat. Splitting hairs when it all comes from the same head.
Order and dignity. That's what you think we're missing? Bastards! All of you!
You will take it all, whether the chance is given to you or not.
What passes between Lodwyn and her men, or between Lodwyn and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only option.
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the republics for a reason.
Lodwyn agrees. Our success would model the order and dignity of the Steel Garrote, for whatever that's worth.
You can say what you want, but you're still trying to subjugate us.
Careful, envoy. Aedyr may still have a part to play, but don't let loyalty blind you.
Oh, are we all supposed to spout patriotic Sokka now, or just these two?
I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Lodwyn has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Lodwyn, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Aedyr will come. Indeed, we are already here. Oh, envoy, no. Do not suggest that lightly. Think of the Emperor. There would be reprisals. Ones which this conclave could not survive, fractured as you are. Not unless you came together and formed a nation of your own. It would be difficult. No, impossible. I'm certain you would fail. Think of your people, all of you. Think of the lives at stake.
Though I'm hardly eager to work with any of you, I like the idea of twisting beneath Aedyr's boot heel even less. So long as the Wardens can continue our vigil, I'm open to uniting, if you are.
It's a nice idea, but consider the costs. If we walk away from a relationship with Aedyr, we're leaving a lot of trade on the table. But the people of Thirdborn have friends in the world. I'm sure we'd find our way through.
With the envoy's support, we'd have a god in our pocket. What could the Empire do to stop us? Together, we could repair Fjord and create such miracles of animancy the Living Lands will become the envy of the world. It would be the honor of my life to stand with my people beside you all.
We deserve our autonomy, even if we must fight for it. Anything less would be surrender.
Fleeing someone else's laws and authority is one thing, setting up your own is another. We're an island of misfits and dissidents. We'll still have to surrender some of our autonomy, and we won't agree on what that means overnight. We'll be vulnerable. Without allies, other powers will see us as ripe for the picking. Know that this is a hard road to walk.
We were fine before Aedyr came. We'll be fine when they're gone.
I think we ran things perfectly fine before your kin got here.
Risk into bounty. Does the winter frost dissuade the seeds? Many fruits on our boughs. We graft many leaves into strength.
Of course. The Living Lands would become an extension of the Aedyr Empire in leadership and law. Soldiers bearing the flag of Aedyr would be garrisoned in every town. They would be paid in Aedyran shelling and speak only the Aedyran language. Their roads would be smooth Aedyran roads. Their medicine would be hygienic Aedyran medicine. and their weapons would be efficient Aedyran weapons. Our customs would become their customs. Our strengths would become their strengths. Our emperor would become their emperor. Turned toward a common purpose. No one, not Rauatai, not the Valian republics, not even a rogue god, would dare attack the Living Lands. This island would be safe for the first time in its history, and safe it would remain. Of course. The Living Lands would retain its own laws under a grave appointed by the Emperor. The grave would be expected to promote and develop the Living Lands to our mutual benefit. They would divide the island into administrative districts and see them governed by mayors appointed from the local communities. The island would provide tribute in the form of resources and taxes, and in times of war, soldiers. The Empire, I should note, is nearly always at war. In return, the Living Lands would enter Aedyr's sphere of influence, and should outside nations attempt to invade, we would come to the Graveroom's aid. Naturally, that would be the Emperor's decision, but I suspect he would choose you. Only the strong survive the frontier. I used to believe that was Lodwyn. But you were born to rule here, quite literally. Well, give the matter some thought. You owe that much to yourself, at least.
We give up our fighters and the wealth of our lands, and get promises in return. Can you wield a promise, envoy? Can you drink it like clean water? Can you see it when you open both eyes wide?
A grave rum could work, so long as trade keeps moving through the Scarp and you're willing to serve as our go-between, envoy. And we'll have cannons enough to deter the adherents from trying anything stupid.
When the Empire demands its tribute, from where will it come? Emerald Stair is not the breadbasket it was, and the dream of Eora is now deferred. If we accept this deal, I fear we are building a trap certain to catch our own legs.
Well, let's not twiddle our thumbs while Paradis burns. Envoy, be reasonable. This is not a good idea. Give these people an ounce of agency, and there's no telling what they'll do. Woedica, have mercy on my soul. Well, what will the illustrious leaders of the Living Lands decide?
So this is what I want. I would prefer we keep to ourselves as we have, but if it will take all of us to repel your people, a united Living Lands it is.
The Living Lands is going to need trade partners if we're gonna make it out here. I support a grave rum.
I must throw in with Thirdborn, who opened their doors to us in our time of need. It will be a grave rum for the people of Eora.
Well, it's hardly unanimous, but the majority shall rule. A grave room it shall be, then.
I do not trust your empire to show restraint in its control of the Living Lands. Gods help us.
We can worry about the future when it comes. This at least gives us the backing to survive and rebuild.
Right. Might as well go ahead and start designing those rebel flags sooner rather than later.
Good. We'll have perhaps a whole week of peace before the yoke starts chafing.
I will do my level best to convince the Emperor to accept a grave room. That leaves the matter of Lodwyn and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
Whatever happens to the Living Lands, at least I can kill Lodwyn. I'll take that over nothing.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Thank you for deserving it. Now, go and teach the Stilgarroth a lesson they will never forget.
Show them that the Living Lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza. May all the gods of Eora and the Living Lands protect you.
Let's take back the city. Whatever happens tomorrow, the Stilgarroth can only make it worse.
Time to stop the Stilgarroth. Lead the way, envoy.
So we're going after the Stilgarroth now, right? Let's do it.
Show me what you got!
You can't hide.
We make a good squad.
It's no use. We're overrun. Go on. I'll only slow you down.
Come on, man. The camp's just over there. Get them.
You're going to regret this.
Coming from your right. Next one's mine. You're right.
Stop running.
Come and get me. Oh no, don't.
I'm sick!
Everybody all right?
You watch out for Lodwyn.
I'll teach you!
Here we go.
Take your best shot.
Keep moving, envoy. The sooner we get where we're going, the better.
Is someone without you?
Here we go. On your rear.
Not bad, Marius.
Envoy over here. What exactly do you think you're doing?
Liviana, don't you ever take a break?
You nearly died in my clinic. Correction, you did die. And now look at you, fighting the steel garrote. What have you got to say for yourself? Well, at least you're alive. Try and keep it that way. Kai, is this your doing?
Come on. I couldn't have kept him out of the action if I wanted to.
I knew you were a bad influence. We're patching up folks as best we can, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. War is a damn bloody mess. Yeah, stop the fighting. I can't say I approve of you leaping into the fray, but it's always nice catching up with a former patient. Gods be with you, Envoy. For my sake, try not to die a second time.
Come on. You know this. You practiced with Uncle Capo 100 times. Tight, but not too tight. You don't want to cut off the blood flow.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Hello. I can take care of the plaza.
Nice work.
Demands your submission. Stand against her and fall.
That's Lodwyn ahead. Lead on. I'm with you to the end.
This is it, envoy. The only part that matters.
There you are. Envoy. Come.
Go to her.
So, you survived the garden, but you're not as you were. Oh, Envoy. What did you do?
We have become more. Tell her.
Right. Makes complete sense. Except that it doesn't.
Your envoy has made themselves an abomination. A threat to the very foundations of Eora. Say your goodbyes while you can. Your envoy is nearly gone.
Envoy, come back to us. You can walk away from this.
If you're still... you... Thanks for everything, Nimdude.
Quiet. This is what we wanted. This is what I wanted. I will never be alone again.
You can't even speak to comfort your friends, can you? You poor fool. You had a life of your own, and you threw it away.
Beloved, from the moment of your birth, your life was always mine. Now, tell her, Leave my land in peace, and I will spare your life.
You know I can't do that, fiend. You are a parasite. One that will destroy Aedyr, and perhaps all the world if I don't stop you. Farewell, Sappadal.
Famous last words.
Let's finish this. Together.
You can't hope to win, parasite. I'll put you down as many...
The soil. I will
This is what we no border. Let's take her down. Again.
Back on my feet.
Wherever Lodwyn is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for. But we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Dead now. The roots will have her, and we will have you. Nothing will separate us forever.
Silence falls over Paradis, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. The Paradis militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dreamscourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. With your guidance, the Living Lands becomes a vassal of the Aedyr Empire. In exchange for their taxes and soldiers, the free settlements are protected from future attacks. The fight for survival is over. You showed the rebels of Paradis mercy, but they can never trust the Empire. Instead, they keep to the wilderness, always 2 steps ahead of Aedyr, only attacking when provoked. That is as close as they come to peace. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. The ashes of Fior Messiverno continue to smolder. Scavengers avoid the ruins, fearful of spirits unleashed by animancy gone awry. The once promising city is nothing but a cautionary tale. Though Aedyr has promised that the Living Lands will retain their autonomy, not everyone in Shatterscarp trusts the Empire. But many Aedyran ships sail into the Graveroom's ports, bearing fine linens and aged wines. These ease the painful memory of the day Reengrim culled their people. The loss of both the keep and her oldest friend drive Mihala into a grief so absolute that she cannot face the world or her own people. But the Pargrunen rally around their leader by focusing upon a single endeavor, building a new settlement from the ruins of the old one. Inspired by her people, Mihala returns to herself and to her seat at the council. The doors of this new settlement slowly inch open, a tentative welcome to the once forsaken world. As the din of battle fades and the dust settles in Paradis, Kai finds himself alone again. He longs to enjoy the camaraderie that follows a skirmish, but something is missing. The songs ring hollow in his chest, and the drink lands dry in his throat. He packs what little he has and makes for the coast. He doesn't know where he will go, only that his time in the Living Lands is through. There was a lifeline here, but he never quite grasped it. He will drift. With his travels alongside the envoy complete, Marius is left directionless once again. Rather than disappearing into his cups, however, Marius leans on his time among his companions to give him the strength to re-enter society and find comfort in civilization. He establishes a route between Paradis and Thirdborn, guiding travelers between the two in return for money and supplies. And while he has a reputation for being aloof, he joins the campfires from time to time, sharing stories of his time with the envoy that most travelers believe are completely made up. Giada learned much in your time together. How to stand up to authority, how to face the unknown, and how to move on from the past. But her family's unfinished work weighs heavily on her soul. Her inheritance is the burden of achieving the impossible. Such is the life of an animancer. At least now she has the right tools for the job, and new friends to help her through hard times. No longer under the threat of imminent death, Yardsley returns to the Animancers. Reunited with her beloved Quilici, she helps him and the Animancers as they put their lives together after the attack on Fior Messiverno. Eventually, she even has something nice to say to Vidaro. As the days pass in contentment and relative peace, Yardsley is struck by the persistent feeling that something is missing. Though she still devotes herself to her studies of both the arcane and the godless, the restlessness never goes away.
You will fight us for a long time, but you will lose. Our roots burrow through the walls of your muscles and the halls of your heart, tenderling through organs and bones. Every day, they spread further and deeper. Soon, you'll understand how much we love you, how much we need you. You will not remember why you fought, not for long. You will only know the root and the water and the crow and the joy of the wolves as the pack digs their teeth deep into the belly of the fawn. We will be together forever. We will never let you go.
The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.